We can represent proportional relationships with equations and graphs. So let's take a look at our chart here. We're comparing inches and feet, something we're very familiar with. So if I wanted to take 12 inches and divide it in half, I would get 6 inches, and we know that that's a half a foot. Or if I quarter it, 12 divided by 4 is 3, and 1 divided by 4 is 0.25. Further, 12 times 2 is 24, and 1 times 2 is 2. So we can compare inches to feet all the time. So let's let A equal the number of inches we have, and B represent the number of feet we have. So if I were to take a certain amount of inches and divide it by 12, that would give me how many feet I have. Further, 12 times the number of feet we have would give me the number of inches. 12 is the number of feet, or 12 times the number of feet equals the number of inches. So if we're looking at this strip diagram here, there are 12 little pieces for the one whole foot. So it seems strange that since inches are a smaller unit, but it takes more of them to make 1 foot. Then let's compare that to what the graph looks like. Notice how our graph is a nice straight graph. Along the bottom, I have inches, and along the left, I have feet. It makes sense that if I have 0 inches, I have 0 feet. So if I go to 12 inches, I have 1 foot. If I go to 24 inches, I have 2. 36, I have 3. And if this were to continue, I'd have 48 would give me 4, and further and further. So also, we know that in between 4 and 8 is 6, so I see that 6 does equate to a half as well. The graph of pairs of quantities in a proportional relationship is a nice straight line that passes through 0, 0. This is true with all proportional relationships and their graphs. Their steepness certainly may change, but they will always go through 0, 0 and be nice and straight. Which internet service provider should you choose? We have AT&T with a chart, we have Bidmore with a graph, and we have Comcast with a statement. So let's start with Comcast. The download speed is already stated for us at 28 megabytes per second. So nothing we need to do there. So let's move on to the graph. Looking at the graph, we can see the speed is 25 megabytes for 1 second. Okay. Further, right, let's look at AT&T then. I can see then that I don't have a 1 megabyte listed. So unlike the other ones who was nice and easy to pull. But what we can do is take 5 divided by 5 and 150 divided by 5 to get how much is for 1 second. So 150 divided by 5 is 30 megabytes for 1 second. So now when I compare the companies, the best deal would be the fastest speed. Our fastest speed is with AT&T. Now, we don't quite know how much it costs for AT&T, but this is what they offer per speed. Use a variety of different methods to answer the following. Jessica gets her favorite shade of purple paint by mixing a 1/3 cup of blue paint with a 1/2 cup of red paint. How many cups of blue and red paint does Jessica need to make 20 cups of her favorite purple paint? Let's start with a ratio table. So we know that blue paint, we need a 1/3 of a cup. Red paint is a 1/2 of a cup. And altogether then 1/3 plus 1/2 is 5/6 once we find that common denominator to add them together. To get the second line, I multiplied all of them by 6 to try to get whole numbers. So 6 times a 1/3 is 2. A 1/2 goes into 6 3 times, and then 5/6 goes into 6 5 times. And now what we can do to keep going, because we need to get 20 cups here, is we can double, so each one, so 4, 6, and 10, and double again. So 8, 12, and 20. We can use a tape diagram. So I've got listed here that there are 6 1/3s in 2 cups, and there are 6 1/2s in 3 cups. But I need to have 4 sets of them in order to make 20 cups altogether, because there is 5, 10, 15, 20 cups altogether. So then I would need 2, 4, 6, 8 cups of blue paint and 3, 6, 9, 12 cups of red paint. We can also use arithmetic. We know that 1/3 plus 1/2 is 5/6. We want to know how many 5/6 can go into 20. So 20 divided by 5/6 is 20 times 6/5, which is 125ths, which is 24. So what we then can do is say, well, what is 1/3 of 24? Well, that would be 8. So we need 8 blue paint. And then half of 24 is 12. So that would be our red paint. Homework. Print the homework file included in the practice problems homework Dropbox. Complete the problems as outlined within the homework pages, taking care to show all of your work. Scan and upload your documents back into the practice problems Dropbox when you're finished.